Have you ever thought that you could know God? Like not just know of God, but know God. Now, I understand that our finite minds will never, and I believe never fully grasp the greatness of all God is and his majesty and all of that. But at the same time, did you know that you can know God? I love it in John chapter 10. See, John was this guy who was hanging out with Jesus, and he was writing down the very words of Jesus. And this is what Jesus says in John chapter 10. He says, "My sheep know my voice." Isn't that incredible? My sheep know my voice. In other words, my sheep know me. They know what I sound like. They know who I am. It makes me think of when I was a kid and I would come home from school, and I'd get home from school before my parents would. And sometimes my dad would get home first. Sometimes my mom would get home first. But I would always be upstairs when I'm done with my homework, watching TV, and I would hear the garage door open. And the garage door would open, it would shut, and then I would hear the door between the garage and the house open and shut. And immediately I could tell if my mom was home or if my dad was home. Just by the way the garage door opened and closed, just by the footsteps I could hear on the bottom floor, I knew immediately if it was my mom or my dad. And the reason is because I spent so much time with my mom and my dad. I spent so much time in that house after school, hearing my parents come home. I'd be doing my homework and they'd come walking in. I would hear it over and over and over again. And I knew the sound of my parents. Without them even speaking, I knew the sound of my parents. And that's exactly how it is with us and Jesus, with us and God, that the more time we spend with him, the more we know his voice. And the more we know that God is speaking to us and it's not the world, and we can decipher between the lies that we hear in our head and the truth that we hear in our head. That God wants to speak to you and that you can actually know him. You can know this great, amazing God that we serve, this amazing God who spoke to Moses in the burning bush. You can have that kind of relationship with him. He wants to have that kind of relationship with you, but it takes spending time with him. You're not going to get it right away. You're gonna try to spend some time with God, and you might not hear his voice. You might not quite recognize it. Is that God? I think so. Is that God speaking in my heart or my mind? But the more you do it, the more you spend time with him, the more you're gonna recognize his voice. So I just want you to be encouraged today. If you're trying to spend time with God and you're not quite sure if you're hearing his voice or not, don't worry. Just keep going. Keep listening, keep reading, keep spending that time. And before you know it, all of a sudden, you're going to know his voice. So be encouraged today. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.